Neediness. When I think about this word, I feel like it's gained so much negative connotations over the years. But in fact, I feel like neediness is something that's very natural. We all talk about human needs and things like that, right? And need for love is one of the most basic human needs that we can think of. But at the same time, when we think of someone being needy, we just want to stay away from those people because it just feels, energy-wise, it just feels like something that you want to avoid. But what if you are the one who is being needy? How do you tackle with that problem? How do you overcome neediness? That's what I want to talk about in this video. I have a lot of experience with this, trust me. That's how I'm able to give you any suggestions on this. In fact, I did suffer from borderline personality disorder before. I've healed to a great extent and I feel like I don't suffer from neediness as much, but I still have these tendencies in me. And when I observe this in myself, sometimes it's so crazy because I just lose my balance. I just lose my sense of self and it gets projected outwards. And the whole idea of this video is how to get that sense of self inwards towards you. So if you're interested, stay tuned and let's dive right in. Welcome back to this video. My name is Rav and I help people empower themselves by educating them on human behaviors and emotions. So if you're new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe to this because you'll be receiving a lot of valuable contents the more we go into the future, because I'm going to be creating more and more relatable contents for you guys. So let's dive right in and start talking about how we can solve this problem of neediness. So when you are so much attached to somebody, but you feel unworthy of having them in your life, or you have this doubt that if they will even reciprocate towards your love, or even if they'll like you to some extent, that's when this fear starts to develop and it turns into neediness, as we can see outside. So when you start calling somebody too much, especially if you're trying to date somebody and they're new and you feel like that it's not going too well, and you start calling them like 10 times a day or texting them too much or doing something along those lines, that looks like what neediness is. And on the receiving end, it is so freaky that you just want to avoid that person, and even energetically it feels very bad for the other person to be receiving all these kind of needy vibes. And I totally think that you can sense this kind of needy vibe from miles away, you know, whenever you're not even around. And that's happened to me. I've been on both these spectrums. On the one where I was like super needy, I just couldn't stop fantasizing about this girl that I used to date once upon a time. And in the beginning, she was very much attracted to me and we had this nice chemistry going along. But all of a sudden one day, what happened, I don't remember, but I felt like the date went a little bit sour and I started to apologize, which was very unlike me. And all of a sudden, I started losing sense of self. Like I totally wasn't myself anymore. All the time I started thinking about her. I was just trying to make amends, whereas she didn't ask for anything from me. You know, she wasn't asking for any explanation, any clarification. She didn't say anything to me about the date going wrong. But in my mind, I was so fearful and I started feeling so unworthy of dating her or having her in my life that I feel like I somehow had to prove to her and as well as myself that I was worthy of her love or companionship. I feel like one of the reasons I got to this journey of personal development, which later turned into a journey of spirituality too, it started because of this relationship going wrong. So in a way, I feel like I need to be grateful about this, you know, neediness that I used to have. You just lose yourself, like your mind is wandering all around all the time. You probably start fantasizing about the other person. That's when you start becoming very anxious, more and more anxious, and you start becoming very needy. So the way we get over this neediness is bringing that sense of self back towards us and being in tune with ourselves. So before we get into the solution part of this neediness, I wanted to explore this concept of neediness from the standpoint of reality transurfing. So Reality Transurfing is a book written by Russian writer Vadim Zeland, and it talks about different things including like quantum physics and how you can manifest your reality in order to make it the way you want. But one one concept that I really loved from the book was the concept of importance. So basically what it means is that whenever you're placing too much importance into something, you're basically saying that I can't have it. So instead of attracting it towards you, you're basically repelling it away. So for example, when you're giving something too much importance, let's say that it's a romantic partner that you're trying to attract, like that example that I was giving earlier, right? All of a sudden I had that importance towards her, or maybe it's in your life, something's happening right now. So when you're giving something too much importance, you're basically putting them high up on a pedestal, right? And you're placing yourself down below them. So when you look up at them, you're basically saying that they're out of my league, and there's no way you can get there. You can try to get there by trying to elevate yourself, but at the same time you have to let go of that importance in order to get there. Maybe they'll come back to there needs to be a balance. That's what I'm trying to say. So the whole concept of importance is whenever you're giving importance to something or someone, you're basically saying that it's out of your league and you're not able to manifest that. And that's what neediness is in a way. It's just giving something too much importance or somebody too much importance. And subconsciously what you're saying is that you're not worthy of having them in your life. And maybe you don't feel it outside consciously, but subconsciously that's exactly what you're feeling. So in order to get rid of that neediness, you'll have to let go of that importance and stop putting them high up in a pedestal. But at the same time, now let's talk about bringing the balance back now. How can we do that? Because what we start to do is when we start to place too much importance on somebody, we start losing our sense of self, right? And we start to create all these scenarios in our mind, or we start fantasizing about them all day long, and we feel like it's just love. But if it's not reciprocated the same way, or if they're not at the same level as you are, and if they don't even feel the love sometimes, it just becomes like a burden for you, first of all. And when they feel that there's something like off coming out from you, they're gonna obviously become repelled away, right? Because if you look at somebody who's high up on a pedestal and you just like wave at them and you just say that I love you, I mean, it might seem cute for a little bit, but after a while it just feels like, hey, they're just a fan, man. What the hell is that? Like it just starts to become a little cringy, right? So you almost want to get rid of those people. I mean, you can think of it that way. Sorry, my legs is itching right now. You're basically giving your power away to somebody just like that. And they're not even asking for your power, right? Unless they're actually trying to manipulate you or something like that. Because everybody likes somebody who can offer them something, but it's more of a self-reliance kind of thing. It's not just giving your whole entire being onto somebody and be like, hey, this is me, handle me. That's not how it works. And that's basically what is happening. So you have to bring that sense of being back to yourself. And you have to be more grounded. When you start to become more grounded, that neediness is gonna disappear just like that. But sometimes you're just creating all these scenarios about this person in your mind, which probably isn't true at all. And that's where the problems start to arise. So we have to bring our sense of self back to us. The way to do it is basically through breath. That's the easiest solution that I found for myself. When you breathe, try to focus on your third eye center. And when you do that, you start to feel this sense of self inside of you. So try to focus in between your eyebrows. I mean, you can even close your eyes for right now. And let me just like guide you through it right now if you want to experience this. So try to sense that center right in between your eyebrows and breathe into it. Take a few long deep breaths in. And hold. And release. Take a couple more deep breaths. Let's just get right on it. Hold and release. One last breath. In and hold and release. Now start to notice, where are you thinking from? What is that part of you who is thinking? Where is it at? Is it pretty hyperactive right now? If you're actually feeling this neediness, is it just outside of yourself. Maybe the center isn't probably in you. Just try to focus on where your thoughts are going. Where is it emerging from? Now, as you do this, you've already shifted into the perceiver mode, which is a lot more higher than your thinking mind. And this is where you are able to create your own realities for yourself. So stay with this perceiver self. Try to ask, what am I? Not who am I, but what am I? Are you that thinking mind? Are you your emotions? Are you the sensations inside of your body? Or are you that perceiver? So take a deep breath into that perceiver self. Right into the third eye chakra. So let's do this together. Take a deep breath in. And hold. And release. Let's take another deep breath in. And hold. And release. Let's take another deep breath in. Hold. And release. Now just sense that this power that you might have given away is just coming back to you. It's coming back to you. Because nobody needs your power. Nobody needs your intense thinking on them. You can keep it for yourself. In fact, you can just get rid of those excessive thinking. Just keep the sense of being with you and get rid of the thinking for a while. Just notice how that feels. Stay with it for a second. If thoughts comes, that's okay. If you have any judgment over my voice or anything, that's okay. Or if there's any judgment towards yourself, that's okay too. Just stay with it. Now just say that you are completely whole and complete right now. There's nothing else outside of yourself that is going to complete you, because you're the only one who can make yourself satisfied this way. But if you keep losing your center and giving it out to the world, they're gonna crush it because they won't find value in that. So it's up to you to bring your power back when you start losing it. And when you start becoming mindful of this, it's gonna be much more easier for you to get this sense of being back to your body. Now take a deep breath in one more time. Hold and release. Now slowly start to open up your eyes and just notice how that feels. Did you get this sense of being back into your body? If not, I guess you could try this exercise again to see how that feels. But the point here is bringing your power back to yourself and realizing that you're already whole and complete. If you start basing your worthiness outside of yourself, you're just gonna become more hurt. And that's not a good way to live life, right? So stop doing that right now. And just be committed to this process of bringing your power back to yourself. And start to trust yourself more. Because if you are becoming overly needy and attached to somebody, the chances are you don't trust yourself as much. And you don't see your own value, your own sense of self-worth, which creates all these problems in your life. And sometimes maybe even to escape those problems, you try to create this fantasy in your mind, which ends up creating even more problem in the long run. But in short term, it might feel good, but it might make you more clingy towards others because your thoughts are not based upon reality anymore. So just realize that and try to bring your center back to yourself every time you feel like you're losing touch with yourself. And when you start to do this, you'll never feel needy again. And that's my guarantee, man. You'll never feel needy again if you bring the center back to yourself, because you are already whole and complete. You are already worthy. And that's what I want you to remember from now on, every single day moving forward in your life. You don't need anybody else's validation. You are already whole and complete. You are lovable the way you are. And if nobody else gives you love in life, you can always stand in front of a mirror and just like embrace yourself and say, I love myself. I do that to myself. I know a lot of other people who do that. So you shouldn't be embarrassed to do that too. To just give love to yourself, to give yourself some acceptance, give yourself some validation, trust whatever you need from other people. You can do that for yourself. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below too. And in the future, if you want me to make more videos like these, which have more experiential elements on this, let me know and I'd be happy to do that. And also, I've recently started offering one-on-one life coaching session. So if you want to work with me so you can become a more empowered version of yourself, let me know. Just fill out the coaching form in the website. The link is down below and we can go on from there. And once again, friends, I want to wish you all the very best. Goodbye and namaste.